Nuair a bhúil an clog in aglis níomh Coleman ar inis bufinne Jadóní, dreagar muintir an dá Oileáin an garam gan Efrin. Próiste bháin a behé. Bin an trá nuair a bhealú maidinach í bratha Dóní lán bháid de ghoine a nun ar an cuil as Inishshark go dtí inis bufinne.
Oh, I remember, say, 50 or 60 people coming across the mess. 3 or 4 boats, 6 men in each of them, and the women and kids. They'd be coming in there fine days, coming over to mess in their shirts. And when the sun would be shining into the window, you could see the steam. You see the steam leaving them out of their heads, you know, after rowing from Shark. The man we see the most steam leaving, them was the best man. We'd have more small.
Úr sa bhí, má fuair siad aimsear chuir an dónach, thug fir Inishshark an sagart an nun go dtí an Tillán chun an tafran I léamh I séplín níomh leo éarlamh an Oileáin.
They had their own rules and regulations. One household was to bring the priest and also supply the breakfast afterwards. They would land at this little slipway and then they'd just jump out of the boat and haul the boat up, and oftentimes there'd be water up to their midriff. But never smoked a pipe until the mass was over, and every single one of them loved their pipe. There was a little church in Shark, no seats. The men would line up inside the church, up along the walls on either side. And the women, they would see the boat coming, of course, and they'd have the kids with them. And they'd have a 3-legged stool, and that was their seat for going into the church in Shark.
My mother, Anna Lacey, came from Inishark Island, and my first visit to Inishshark was at the age of 4 months. Every year we spent 6 to 8 weeks on the island. We sailed over from Liverpool to Dublin, down on the train, down to Galway. We came to Cleggan then and made contact with Osty Kelly in Inishbofin, who ran the mail boat, and Osty used to come out and pick us up from Cleggan and take us into Shark. I had a great closeness with my grandfather, Thomas Lacey. I was his first grandchild, and they made a fuss of me. As I grew older, I became more involved in the island way of life, going to the bog, drawing the turf, helping in the hayfields, going fishing with my uncles, becoming another Inishark Islander, really. I had a great respect for them, the way they lived. Life wasn't a bed of roses all the time. Obviously, they had disputes between families, but they always resolved them and got on with their way of life because each depended on the other.
Vider consciesach, glán in a grui, vi spraka banchlohop, agus vider knaste agus unrich lenne hele. Vi nit sehes in a banch, leis in dramshin a vi in a goni in notchachi uignacha fod na tire.
Extraordinary, extraordinary people. The one thing they loved, and I think it'll stand out in my mind always, they loved their music. And Boffin the same. And if anybody came over to Shark, visitors or anything else, if any music came, down with tools, down with everything, dance for the day.
The Rainies used to come in from the mainland and they used to spend 2 or 3 days on the island, and also the Hollands from Inishbofin used to come and play. There was great merriment. In fact, dances went on for 2 or 3 days at a time, sort of thing.
And they'd put the accordion player up on the table, and they'd buy 2 barrels of porter and tap them themselves, and they'd drink and dance till daylight in the morning.
Íhan do meach an amsir go maith agus go meach ceol an seo sa scóil nó I dach éigen tugadh muintir Shark an nán agus arás an í chéine.
They left in their chorus and they rode over to Inishbofin, went up to the hall and they'd dance all night and row all the boys back again, get back maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All 3 miles of it.
Tá muintir Oileáin, tá siad, tá a gultúr héin acu. Bhí an ceol agus an rinche agus an tórannacht acu, agus chuididir go mór le síl an síl sóisialta an mórthír nuair a tháinig.
míle maach o hósta na Galway, hí Inishark faoi smach na farige is na núl. Hí beriche na daoine chuoin taobh. Nuair a héid styr am a chuí an Hebrí, ba vinnig an Tilán a bheith scarthaí amach le hí héin go ceann rinn seachtaní te bhór na duine.
Shark and Buffin, both of them was very, very exposed because there were nothing else west of them, just the broad Atlantic. But Shark was really, when it got wind and rain, storm, it really took the brunt of it.
(1959). Sometime from around the 12th of December of that year, we just hit storm after storm after storm. We were cut off from the mainland, and Shark, of course, was in the worst position. 6, 7 or 8 weeks without ever going to Buffin. The flour would go short, then there was nothing but potatoes. And you'd surely have fish because they always kept fish in the house.
It'd be common enough for them to be maybe a couple of weeks before they could come across, even to here for, to get their groceries and things. When the weather was bad. Even if it was calm from the sea be up, they couldn't leave the little harbour they had.
Our harbour there was like a cove. It wasn't a natural harbour. It was just a cove. Buffin Harbour is natural, made by the man himself.
Tá calla úntach í mó finne, deirtar gur bíon calla sfear néireann. Tá fosca úntach ann, I scéal eile fad seach gáfach, áit nach bhfuil calla cearta choribbe. Tá áit beagán ar a Dr. Port, ach áit donna áit contúirteach
The only fear we ever had on the water was coming to the pier in Shark. Day or night when we landed was afraid that the boat was going to get broken and was going to get drowned there. You had high tide, you had some chance. When the tide was low, you had no chance when there was a swell in the sea. But you landed there at night and nobody there. Just something else. You was frightened to your life that you was going to lose everything.
Often when they'd leave here, now we're leave taking and they'd have more trouble, to land behind after having their journey made. That's where the hardship starts, right? Watching to let the boat in, tap a wave, and maybe full of groceries and flour and have it up there before the next wave come.
Bhí tú chur de héal a guntort, a tíocht choncéve nó a fágáil. Nó géar a bád a chur a snáv, beidir nach ra snáv ag an mád, séisiir nach gam a tílís le bhachan, beidir nach ran na bád an anhéachtarsteach choncéve híle isio. So, bhí go leor míhúntarstí a baint, agus go bhhar na míhúntarstí, bhí go leor sclábhaachta a baint le cuasaí maireachtála Oileáin ag an amsir.
It was all right when there was plenty of help there. A couple of 100 people there, they'd catch the boat and the boat was left up, even if there was bags of flour and everything like that you see from Buffin.
They did put a winch in it at one stage, but it wouldn't work. But if they was given a proper winch, they could even winch their corks up and their boats up, and they didn't need extra help. But that wasn't given to them.
Níor mór an Inishshark riamh déanta ar na Oileáin, cearcailóir rinne bord na ceantarcha cún agus an Comisiún na Talún obair lehan, ach níor á riamh a ggóhan Inishshark tá.
Ganach riar cheart dínta rachmas tíre. Tuirfí ard an dramas legacy tír sol inter fás an dram atá a bhhaid níos fearras ná dramaile diganta. Sin botúna dearnos an námad a caite ná gur dearnú dearmad gon dram gur a rudí fiile na comportí bega a testar.